Boy, what a game we are setting up to watch in Lubbock, Texas. Oregon is a 6.5-point favorite as we speak. They're on the road at Texas Tech. When is this being played? Not at high noon. Nope, Oregon could only be so lucky. It is a 7 o'clock Eastern kickoff on ESPN. Oregon coaches, I guarantee you, the moment Texas Tech went down to Wyoming said, oh, great. Because the casual looks at it and says, oh, good, Texas Tech's vulnerable. Those of us who have been around this sport and watched it say, oh, great, Texas Tech knows they're vulnerable. It's wounded animal mode. It's one of the most dangerous places to face a team when they're going back home. So you got to go to their building, and they're in wounded animal mode. All those matchup advantages are rendered moot sometimes because crazy stuff happens because this is college football. I mean, they lost in a stadium last week that had mountains painted in the end zone. What a beautiful sport. Anyway, the feel on Oregon, and the feel I've told you I have the entire summer is I think their defensive personnel is much deeper and better, and they're able to be more versatile and package specific with the way that they want to go about attacking an offense, and they better be. Because Texas Tech had 9 guys catch passes last week, and all of those 9 had at least one reception of 10 or more yards. So they spread the ball around. It's a big week for Taj Lupoy. Big week for him. That's the defensive coordinator at Oregon. You know, Dan Lanning got hired there. And if I'm an Oregon fan, when I hire the defensive coordinator from Georgia, I'm thinking to myself, oh, good, we got Bo Nix. But we're also going to have a dominant defense eventually, right? Well, Lupoy's the coordinator up there. Big week for him. Really big week for him. Because I think they got good enough personnel, but, you know, personnel has got to be put in the right place to execute. Number 2, I think Oregon can choose which offensive style they want to feature here. They're deep and talented enough at wide receiver to attack Texas Tech through the air. They obviously got Bo Nix at quarterback. I got all the confidence in the world in him. But also their offensive line, that offensive line that the preview magazines told you may be a weakness because they're replacing 4 guys on it, and your boy here told you is going to be a strength. I still believe is a strength. I also think that you got an undersized defensive front you're facing this week. I think you could lean on Texas Tech, or you should at least be able to think you can. And so I think what they'll do is a combination of the two. I think they'll open it up, but ultimately revert back to leaning, and it's kind of the way they played the UCLA game last year, to be honest. They showed a little bit of everything in that game. Now, that was with Kenny Dillingham as the OC, and he's off to Arizona State now. But philosophically, I think that's the right way to go about this. Field goal kicking was a problem for Texas Tech last week. They missed 3 of them. They need to win that. They need to win hidden yardage. Let's take a look at what the model thinks. Yeah, Oregon scored 81 last week, so they're averaging 81 points per game. The Vegas number is Oregon minus 6.5. The model's just a little bit north of that. We got Oregon minus 7.5. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I'm going to pick Oregon to win. I'm going to pick Oregon to cover. I know to take Lubbock, Texas seriously. I know to take Joey McGuire seriously. I know to take a quarterback in Tyler Shuck who was essentially jettisoned from Oregon and now starts for the Red Raiders seriously. And I know to take a team in desperation mode, not wanting to start 0-2 seriously. So why am I taking Oregon? I do think they're that much better. I'm not betting a dime on this game because I am, like I said, very nervous about it. But we're going to go Oregon to win. We're going to go Oregon to cover, especially at 6.5.